Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cinematic Realms. I'm your host, John Webster, and I was just chatting with the lovely Kelly, the jaded redhead, and time got away from us, and I was like, "Oh, we should probably start," but but we were having fun chatting. But how are you doing tonight, Kelly?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good. I was just telling you that I've started my exercise routine, and it's starting to take shape as an actual routine, and I'm very excited about that. But yeah, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about a movie called Sin City, which I mentioned quite a while back. I said, "Hey, you interested in talking about Sin City?" And you were like, "Sure." And I was like, "Okay, I'll mark that down." And we're finally getting around to it.
I have
Um,
no idea how long ago that was.
yeah, it was a while. It's because it was before I needed to like step back and take my break from everything. So, um, but yeah, it's I was thinking about when this movie came out today in 2005. Uh, it's been a while.
Yeah. Way to make it more depressing. Uh, yeah, 2005. Yeah, and
Um,
it's not like, I mean, in the context of the movie itself, like I'm not even gonna dare say like it's dated because the as far as like the writing and everything, it's just the way it is written. It's like old school mysteries, detective thrillers.
yeah,
uh
I was trying to think about whether it was like whether you could say that it's dated because I obviously it's there's some stuff that if you're looking through a modern lens it doesn't quite sit right.
yeah.
There's a bit. Um, but also even considering that, like it's the film is taking on those old detective noir stories,
Yeah.
so it's automatically going to have that sort of you know old age like it's storytelling to it where it's the male protagonist who's talking in the voiceover and saving a damsel in
Saving the
distress.
dames,
Yeah, and
the dames and the broads.
although there's quite a lot of women in this film that like are more than capable of taking care of themselves, but still I did notice it, but so you're left wondering whether it's the time in which it was made or the kind of story that it's telling. So
Yeah.
but that said, I still had a great time rewatching it, and
This it is bonkers.
it's crazy. And I remember when I saw it in um I remember when I saw it in theaters. This was probably this stands probably as the funnest audience movie I've ever seen because I saw it at like a midnight showing,
Oh, okay.
late at night. I'm trying to remember why I did that because I usually never did because as a teenager, or I guess I was a little older than a teenager. Yeah, I was in my early 20s, but I was always kind of scoffing at other people my age when going to late showings. I was like, "Will you all just shut up, and let me enjoy the movie?" but this seemed like the type of
Are you
movie.
talking about the day after? Like someone would go to the midnight showing the night before, and you're talking about like uh shut up about it the day after,
No, no,
or
no. I mean, literally shut up during the movie.
oh, okay.
Because young people at late showings are always going to be really rambunctious and talking during the movie, and if you get a whole theater packed full of them, like for a cinephile like myself, I remember I was always far older than I actually was age wise.
I
Um,
I can see that. I yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Leaf.
But this was different because I knew it was going to be such a ridiculous movie.
Yeah, going into it, you're like, I'm just gonna like, have fun and just, enjoy this completely insane ride.
Yeah, and the audience was great because like there was so much insanity throughout the movie and they were just eating it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, this stands as one of my favorite movie going experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of like what I expected this movie to be going in because there were a couple of different elements. This was like, I feel like this was the very first like attempt at a director taking a graphic novel and trying to literally adapt it like panel by panel, and that became a fad for a number of years. But this was kind of the first time, and it was also one of the early films shot digitally with like massive green screen. The Star Wars prequels had done it with 2 and 3, but but those had several problems in that you felt the detachment of the actors with those films, like, and I don't tend to really blame the actors on those films too much because it was a brand new thing of like doing scenes completely in front of green screen with barely anything else. And I think there were a couple other movies that did it, but this was the first one that I feel it actually really worked, that the actors seemed to get, they seemed to understand completely what they were a part of and what they were doing, and they really sold their performances, especially like, like Mickey Rourke and Clive Owen.
Yeah.
I mean, those two.
I feel like there's an aspect of really leaning into it, into the visual storytelling and the type of story that you are telling, and being that bold visual kind of, in your face that the graphic novel can be. What, like when we talk about like, something like X-Men, there's certain things that in the comic books they're not going to translate well on screen. It's very, visually striking. Well, they just kind of went like kind of balls to the wall, but that's necessary. Exactly. And it doesn't pull the audience out of the story at all. And I think I really feel like the actors again leaned into it and had like a blast. The thing is, like, I never read Frank Miller. I didn't know what Sin City was. I went to see at the theater because it had all these hot people in it. So okay, I'm there. Sorry, guys. 1 out of 10 as far as there's no boats in the movie. Kind of disappointed, but there's lots of hot people.
Yeah, it's like I have all these, reasons in my head for going to see it. Like, Tarantino's name was in there, and it kind of has a style that is reminiscent of Pulp Fiction in terms of its, nonlinear storytelling, and it looks really cool, like like pages out of a comic book. When really the reason I went to the theater was right here.
Alba, yeah.
Not gonna
Nancy. Lie. Yes, please.
So yeah. Not gonna lie about that. But that said, like, it was one of the most amazing, one of the most amazing movie going experiences I ever had, just because there was nothing like that. And that's so hard to do, to go to the theater and to experience something that's unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was definitely one of those experiences.
I feel like when I was, I don't know, like, being a movie fan, that was generally, looking back, that is not something I would have gone for. And I really think it was the like top billed cast that really drew me in. And I ended up liking the movie way more than I thought I would. I went because I of course, my boyfriend at the time was going, and I was like, I had the option to, bow out of movies that I wasn't interested in, but I was like, nah, I like the actors. I'm gonna go see this, and I ended up liking it way more than I thought. Like even through like the really like effed up, disturbing stuff,
Oh, that
I
that's the thing. I have to say, like, and this was true even that first night that I saw it, and it was true up until my rewatch today. It's like, as much as I'm saying, like, I love the movie, I love the movie, I love the movie. There's it's almost like there's two viewers watching every time I sit down to watch this. There's the one
yeah.
person who's like absolutely thrilled with every aspect of it, and then there's the other part of me that's like, oh, this is so gross. Certain
Yeah.
parts.
But
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
it's I get the storytelling. I was I had a discussion with one of my coworkers. He's taking an international trip, and he was complaining about the themed tours. He wants to take a tour of Iceland without like having a Game of Thrones theme and I'm just like, where's the tour for Sin City? Like I wanna take that one. I want to go to those bars. I want to go to Old Town. Probably get killed. That's fine.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because really the only place that was built for the film was Katie's bar.
I okay.
Everything else was
Everything
in the
else green screen.
computer.
Yep.
Yeah. And apparently, I remember hearing that the reason why they built the bar was basically to get Frank Miller on board. Because, like, we're going to
Okay.
build the bar so you can walk through it.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so, but,
So can we
yes, go ahead.
let's talk about the since it's you, John, let's talk about the music.
Yeah, let me actually pull up the composers because there are three. Um, there's predominantly three stories. You have you know the bookends,
Yeah.
which are just little segments, but there's mainly three stories, um, and they're each done by different composers. So for let's see,
John Debney.
so for the hold on, I'm bringing it up. Uh, okay, so for the hard goodbye, which is the Marv story, you've got Clive Revell who did that.
Okay.
The Big Fat Kill, which is the middle story, is scored by John Debney, and then Robert Rodriguez himself scored That Yellow Bastard, which is such a it's a great title, but oh my, like, yeah, that it's probably that one, by the way, is probably my least favorite of the stories, just because I find that character so repulsive, and it
Yes. The type of like good and bad guys you're dealing with in that. Yeah, I since having the DVD, I would actually skip those parts because ew. And that's the thing. Like I was completely like revolted by Yellow Bastard, but now I'm kind of revolted by Willis.
yeah, that
Like I kind of like back, back when I first saw it, I was like, I get it, Nancy. I get it. Daddy issues, Bruce Willis, my new daddy. Now I'm just like, ugh. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm like, this was the cover, like this, special cover wanted specifically with Dwight and Gail.
yeah. I'll give you a big one guess which cover I went for,
Yeah,
which was
Nancy.
Nancy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, guilty. But
They
but yeah, no, I love the Dwight story. Just especially because, like, I'm remembering now that was in the early years of Clive Owen kind of emerging onto the scene in America, at least.
Yeah.
He was
When
well
did
established over in England.
I think King Arthur had come out either that year or the year before?
Yeah, King Arthur was 2004.
Okay.
And he also had the movie Closer, which he got a lot of awards attention for.
Oh, okay.
And then the next year was Sin City.
Yeah.
And he just did such an amazing job in
And
this role. He's great.
when when Gail says, like, calls him Lancelot, I was like, no, he's not Lancelot, he's the other one. It's Arthur, lady.
Yeah.
No, God. So I need the horny bat. I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
I know. You'll notice whenever I pop up pictures of Gail or really any of the Old Town scenes, I've had to be selective about which images I go for, just so the video doesn't get flagged.
Yeah, I mean, God, we're doing Sin City, so
yeah, I know.
But the whole AK, that's what's up.
Yeah, none of us are.
Yeah. The whole, like, also I had a huge crush on Elijah Wood as well. It's kind of disappointing because it was just like, oh, he doesn't even talk, really, and it's just like, and then I realized the character he's playing, and I'm like, oh man, I deserve that for coming here and not realizing what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, god damn, Elijah Wood was really trying to move as far away from Frodo as possible. Yeah. I'm looking to see if, here we go. This is where he's getting his legs chewed off by his own dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, Marv. There was a little spurt here and there to get that dog ears to come running.
God, like, I'm surprised that he didn't give me nightmares. Watching this, because he's terrifying in this movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Elijah Wood always been like a big, horror movie fanatic. Yeah. So it's like, he's gonna lean into that, definitely. I loved that whole run with Mickey Rourke, and then of course when Dwight's first introduced in the bar. But it's, oh god, the structure and like you said, the bookends and everything. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. Every story flowed wonderfully into the next story.
It's so brilliant introducing Dwight in that scene, because it's very quick, so it doesn't interrupt the flow of Marv's story, but it lays the foundation for the next story. And that's why actually there's, if you have the special edition DVD, and also on the Blu-ray, there's another disc with the film, I think it's called Recut and Extended or something like that, where it presents each of the stories individually and with additional scenes. But I never really preferred that. I prefer the movie pieced together as it is in the theatrical version, because it's just told so well, just the way the stories go one into the other. And the only way I can stomach that yellow bastard is if it's split up in the two. I don't think I could take that one all in one.
And I thought Nick Stahl was kind of hot too, and it was just like, oh god, just it's the whole Elijah Wood thing is bad enough, but the person he was.
I couldn't bring myself to, like, get the screen capture of Nick Stahl with like his belly hanging out.
Yeah.
It's like,
God.
no,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, this is as far as I went with
Yeah.
getting.
Thank you. Yes, I did just eat. Yes.
But yeah, I
That is,
think I was listening to the commentary track a little while back, and unless I'm misremembering, I think Robert Rodriguez was actually going to have Steve Buscemi play that version of the character,
uh-huh.
and then for some reason was maybe by Buscemi himself was kind of talked out of it and just went with Nick Stahl
Okay.
for both sides of the performance. And even though I could see Buscemi like chewing up the scenery in that part, like I think it's good that they carried over the actor for both parts. It doesn't make it any easier to stomach, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The whole thing with the way some of the storytelling is chopped up, I got lost a couple of times. When Lucille and Marv break out, and then I guess there's like uh, uh
AK, AK
AK.
is here to say all the
I am
stuff that I won't say.
yeah, I'm not kink shaming. That is not why I'm here. We're just saying that storyline is messed up
Yeah.
and everyone is sexy. Anyway, so when it comes to so when we have yeah, Lucille and Marv escaping from the farm, and then it's like cops show up and Lucille's like, it's okay, we've got it all like, under control, and then Marv just like kills them all with a hatchet. I was like, who are they? Oh, are those cops? What's going on? Oh God. Yeah, it gets broken up, and then with the sorry to hop around like this, but
Well, no, but I do want to pause there and be like, they're like, there's no sign of him, and he's like, here's a sign. It's just great.
I think Marv and Dwight definitely had the best one-liners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, the line where he says, "I love hitmen. No matter what you do to him, you never feel bad."
Exactly.
I love the little touch of having, like, when you have these thugs that have this certain sophistication and eloquence. I love that. It kind of like it makes you like them a little bit more, but also a little bit more afraid. Um,
Yeah, I don't have a picture of those two, but like
nah.
there's another there's another two guys later on which are also
There's
and
my
the one
friend.
and the guy on the right when he gets the
Yeah,
arrow fired in, he's
my
like, hey.
my friends we always would go, hey, look at that. Like, no matter what happened after seeing this movie, yeah, that was always a great line. You see that? It's like right through me. There's a note.
That again, like watching it in the theater, the entire theater just completely lost it, and we
Yeah.
died. And that's the great thing. Like when I'm sure I tire everybody going on about the theatrical experience, especially these days with COVID and everything.
Right.
But I long for those days of like going to the theater and when you have a really great audience that's primed for the movie
Hmm.
that you're seeing, because it is such a beautiful experience of when everybody's sort of in sync with the movie.
Yeah. And yeah, like eating it up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um the Oh God, one thing that initially freaked me out, but I absolutely love now, was Jackie Boy talking while he was dead. I like, with
When the chips are down.
yeah, it's got you smoking, and I love I love Benicio del Toro. Like, I think he's like, a likable terrible person. I don't know how else to put it. Um, but yeah, uh, Jackie Boy or Jack Rafferty. Um, yeah,
Which, like, can I just say, like, this? It's funny how, okay, you could say some things don't really sit well these days, but the fact that, like, but this has kind of been, this part of the story almost has become far more relevant. It's like he's supposed to be a hero cop, and he's this
mhm,
terrible guy who,
yep.
who abuses women and, is just out drunk with his horrible friends and,
Mhm.
and doing terrible things. And it's like, yeah, that tracks.
Well, when Dwight is driving and the cops behind him and he's like, I don't have nearly enough cash on me to bribe this cop, and it's not likely, and then if I try, I could have the really, small chance that he's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
And it's just like relevant. Yep.
Yeah. Um, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at it. It's like laughing at how sad,
Yeah.
some of that stuff
Yeah.
is.
The state of things. Yep.
I don't find the real state of things
Yeah.
humor.
This,
It's
but
just,
like, oh, look at that, it's relevant.
yeah,
Yeah, no, we are not making light of that, people, not
yeah.
at all.
But yeah, but
Michael,
no,
I want to talk
sorry, go
about
ahead.
Michael Clark Duncan. Like
Yeah,
this was like the proper kingpin uh that he should have been from Daredevil. uh when it when it came to um oh god, what was her name? Becky. Alexis, what's her face? Um she was in Gilmore Girls. I'm sorry, Kate, if you're in the chat. Um uh Bladell, yeah, she played Becky. So she makes a phone call, and this guy, Michael Clark Duncan's character's name is like Manmit or something. I don't recall them ever actually using his name, but does he just have the IRA like on standby?
uh,
Like,
uh,
I know a guy, I can get some like, Irish hitmen in here real quick. Like, I was like, whoa. I mean, that's an efficient businessman, but okay.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Where do these
given,
guys come from?
yeah, no, it's funny. I never asked that, but given the overall style of, like, Sin City and, the hyper realism and everything,
Yeah.
it was like whatever.
Yeah. All right. I know people. I can get them in here in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Sorry, God, I miss Michael Clark Duncan so much. Granted, obviously I never knew the man,
Yeah.
but as an actor, he was just so great, and I was
What
a huge fan of his going all the way back to the Green Mile.
yeah.
And
What
he
a
blew me
great
away.
that the screen presence, like,
Yeah,
and that awesome voice of his.
and that was one of the thing. I mean, I think that the sequel to this had a number of shortcomings, probably, but the one of the things that kind of stung was the fact that Michael Clark Duncan had passed away by then, and with all due respect to Dennis Haysbert, who stepped in to that role, like, nobody had a presence like Michael Clark Duncan. He's
Very
just,
true. Yep.
yeah. But
Rip,
yeah, the guy is just,
and also
enormous.
Brittany Murphy.
Yeah.
Like, as I was watching this, I was like, oh man, like, uh these awesome actors. Now they're gone.
Yeah.
Yes, Shelley.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
No,
Man, her script. You damn fool.
It's a regular African love fest in here.
I think like for the speaking of hot people, the like we see a lot of like girl flesh, but we don't see enough man flesh. You know, like that one scene. Like, of course, we get Mickey Rourke, but like when Clive Owen's character is kind of in the apartment with her and he shows up and he doesn't have his shirt on, it's like that's all we get, really.
Yeah, I mean,
It's all
granted,
boobs, all boobs and butt.
granted, I'm sure it was, just completely adapted, panel by panel from, what the graphic novel was. But yeah, in the spirit of fairness, like throw a little.
We need some man butt
in there.
Yeah, we need some man butts. Daggone it.
Like, yeah, if I'm able to enjoy Jessica doing her thing, I'm gonna watch this. Give everybody else something.
I didn't like Jamie King. Oh God, she's gorgeous. But the whole dynamic between, like she's Goldie and then she's Wendy, and there's like a kind of a completely different. Yeah, that's again we get Mickey Rourke topless, but I mean I'm not.
That is
not an awesome guy, but
that isn't what you all wanted to see.
No, not really.
But I will say, like, Mickey Rourke just like, because this was where I guess you could call it like a big comeback for him, because he had been out of it for a long time, and this was just enormous for him. So much like in the years after, he was huge, and even I know he went all the way to being nominated for The Wrestler at the Oscars, which I can't remember. I feel like he didn't win that year. He was supposed to, and he didn't. But I'm
we all know. Like, I know you have opinions on the Oscars, John. We all know.
Yeah.
But I like to think that Mickey Rourke like absolutely had a blast. Had a lot of fun with this role. I think I mean I think he's awesome in every role, but this it's like if I were Mickey Rourke and the opportunity to play this particular character came across my desk, I'd be like, oh hell yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's phenomenal. Just I mean, okay, so yeah, he not the Oscar. Yeah, I was worried I made a mistake in that. Either way, like he's had some phenomenal roles, but this was where like he hadn't been doing anything big for a number of years, and then this came out, and all of a sudden everybody was raving about him again. And like Marv is just such a phenomenal character, and pretty much everything he says is like a classic one-liner.
Yep. When they're locked up, when he's locked in there with Lucille, and she's like, he made me watch, like, and she doesn't have her hand, and then she's like, Christ, I need a cigarette, and he says like dames, like they'll act like nothing happened. Like, yes.
Sometimes they just gotta let it out. 5 minutes later, you wouldn't even know it, and
that men, that is like a coping mechanism. Don't pick on us for it.
Yeah, but no, like I remember, like he doesn't even have to say anything. Like afterwards, he's trying to like pull off the bars of the cell, and then he like completely pulls them out, falls back, and just stands up. And I remember my theater losing it because they were so in tune with his character and how over the top he was that pretty much anything he did was just great. I'm gonna throw this one out for AK. Where is it? Oh, sorry. I've got like 1,000 images here. I may have overdone it slightly.
No, I don't believe
Possibly.
that. Yeah, there's so many great images. I wasn't. I had to have the opening scene explained to me. I will say that I was not really understanding what was going on. I was like, wait, why did he kill her? And they had to like my friends had to explain to me like who what what Josh Hartnett was. Like he's a hitman. Like she paid him. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's that opening scene was perfect for setting the stage for the mood of the movie.
Yeah, never mind. Sorry, I can't find the picture.
What's the picture though?
It was when Mickey Rourke goes, my mitts.
My mitts.
I was just gonna throw that in there for AK, but
yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, no, I just love this whole movie. It's but then like I was saying before, there's stuff like putting aside all the stuff from That Yellow Bastard, which is kind of ick. There's when Elijah Wood is getting his legs chewed off by the dogs, even though like we just see it in silhouette.
Yeah, we don't need to. Yeah, that's enough. When I was watching this the other day, rewatching it, I completely forgot about Michael Madsen. Him playing.
He was like the one guy I'm like, yeah, he's not really in tune with like
take it easy, Hardigan. You got a bum ticker, and it's just like this feels painful.
Yeah, I love Michael Madsen, but I don't think that he was like I'm getting paid for this, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did like talking about those early scenes. Like I do like the way Bruce Willis like plays his role. It's very much leaning into like this is kind of a bit over the top film noir, like really going headfirst into some of those line readings, and no need to like take any of this too seriously because it is meant to be ridiculous. But I feel like, and again, that was one of the things that I really liked about the movie from the get-go is that the fact they were doing this against so much green screen, but I really like, yes, the whole thing is ridiculous, but I believed the actors for the most part, in their roles, and that was a new thing, back then, because I think that this movie was very instrumental in like at least convincing me that digital filming and green screen filming like could actually work as part of the film medium, because before that it just felt like, no, you guys should be shooting the stuff real and in real environments. But I remember seeing this and I was like, oh no, like the actors can actually get into this. There's a way to do this where they're not completely detached.
The bar has been set now. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so no, what you were saying about the opening bit with Josh Hartnett, I actually agree, because I didn't completely understand like what the scenario there was, and it took, I remember it took me a while to catch on to the fact that she had paid him to do that. I was like, well, wait, did somebody hire him to take her out?
Yeah, and this, it told that story with like the minimum amount of lines, and
It's a great start to the film.
yeah, it definitely sets a tone and like gets you in that setting. Like this, this is going to be the mood of the movie. This is how it's going to go. These are the kind of lines that are going to be thrown out. She shivers. What do you say? She shivers like a leaf, the last leaf off of a dying tree, and it's just like, ugh. But of course, I'm eating it up because it's Josh Hartnett. He's cute. That's a great scene.
Yeah. No, I think it's again, like you said, it sets the tone for the whole thing, and it and the pull out to.
I can hear this. I can actually hear this scene.
Yeah, so I'll cash your check in the morning, and then it pulls
and
out.
Then it's like, yeah. I'm like, when that started up, I was like, I got fired up. I was like, oh yeah, we're in this now. Yep. Here we go.
I love, and the whole opening credit sequence is beautiful with all the artwork from the graphic novels and everything, like, and I like the fact that you see the characters as they're drawn, with their names, so that's a nice introduction for all of them. But yeah, it's just great. And the thing that I like about, I talked about the story of That Yellow Bastard, which is split up in the theatrical version of the film. What I like about that, besides the fact that it makes a less easily digestible story, like easier to take in, but also the fact that you get like the movie starts off with like a very short little segment, and then you go into Bruce Willis narrating, and you get that story, and that lasts for what, about 10 minutes. And then you're off to the next story, so it gives you this feeling of these are a bunch of stories, and it kind of, to start off the film, it moves you quickly through some of them before the movie settles in with Marv's story.
Yeah.
Which is just a blast.
So apparently, if you get shot multiple times, you'll be fine.
No.
What do you get? Like, he gets shot like 147 times or something, and I'm just like, what is happening? Like, is this like, do they have magic powers? Because I think at that point in the movie, on first watch, I was like, what is going on?
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
And good thing you weren't here a few minutes ago, because Kelly didn't know Gilmore Girls stuff.
I'm sorry. I tend to, like, I don't know, maybe shy away from shows that my parents watched a lot. No offense, John and Kate. Sorry.
No, I haven't even seen that much of it yet, which is a reason. One of the reasons for Kate being continually upset with me.
And I think like that was like the height of its popularity when that actress was in this movie, and I think she gets one or two shots in the trailer itself, like the main trailer. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, it's what's her face from Gilmore Girls. Yep, that scene. What a great scene! God.
Like, I mean, just look at that. Like, that shot is so fantastic. And, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, pretty much almost every shot in this movie is great. Just because, that's the whole point of it, adapting it so closely from the actual visuals of the graphic novel. And so much to the point that Robert Rodriguez even shared, the director credit with Frank Miller, because he said, well, really, I'm just translating all the stuff that he, all the shots he composed. So
John, what does special guest director mean?
It means that this sounds like it's a TV show, even though I always thought that was funny. Well, actually, I want to take that back. Not so much in this case, because there is like, you have the director, and so anybody else, like, and if you want to credit another person who comes in to direct a segment, I guess that's an appropriate credit. The credit that I never got was when like when it comes to actors, and like I see the cast list in a movie and then it says special appearance by, it's
Yeah.
like, it's a movie, it's not
Yeah.
a special appearance, they're just
Yeah.
part of the cast.
I don't know. It's like, oh, let's save some like big names for that last bit where we're like, and with appearances by, it's just like, why don't you say that before every name?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what does that mean?
But in this case, like, obviously, you know,
If you know, put in the comments.
it's not a usual thing to credit like somebody who comes in to direct just one scene, especially not someone like Quentin Tarantino, who's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of a big deal. That's
So
what I figured. It's like,
I get that.
we need to stick his name on the movie somehow. Like, how do we do that?
Yeah, and this was the scene that he directed, which makes a lot of sense. Like that is so much like, you know, I mean, I know he didn't write the script for it, but like there's an inherent like goofiness in that scene that just feels like Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just
doesn't quite cut off his head.
Turns him into a Pez dispenser. Yeah, and like again, Clive Owen, the look on Clive Owen's face when he says that, he's like,
yeah,
you know, he's just,
so and great. I like the whole thing with like the dynamic with him and Gail, and then like him and Miho, and as they're like, you know, planning everything, and he keeps referring to the girls of Old Town as his friends, and like I loved that.
Yeah.
You know, there was like there wasn't like any temptation of like a double cross there or anything like that. Unfortunately, it was Becky.
Yeah, no,
Jeez, Rosario Dawson. Oh my god. Sorry.
There's you need a minute?
Yeah. Just a little thirsty. Hold on.
Like, and I've actually been holding back on throwing up the Jessica Alba pictures. I'm surprised. We're
in that gap. We're in that gap in the middle of the movie.
But yeah, no, it's just great, their whole dynamic, and I like the fact that, you know, the whole movie isn't perfect in terms of, you know, the language used, but I do like the fact that he refers to them as the girls of Old Town.
Yeah.
You know, and that they're presented as this strong force of, you know, women, like you don't you don't F with the girls.
They're the law.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, and yeah, no, God, I just keep hearing, like, as we're talking about this, you know, this story in particular, I just keep hearing Clive Owen's narration in my head as,
oh yeah,
you know, he's like, and that's again like referencing the sequel again, where the part of Dwight, you know, since he was supposed to look different and be a different person, he was played by Josh Brolin, and again, all credit to Josh Brolin. I think he's a very good actor, but Clive Owen just had such charisma in this part that, you know, like I don't want to see anybody else being Dwight. You know?
Yeah,
he's so good.
I do apologize, guys. I have not seen A Dame to Kill For, or is it A Dame to Die For? I can't remember.
Yeah, the second one. I remember it let quite a few people down. I wasn't like, I didn't hate it, but it definitely kind of lacked something.
Yeah.
The one thing I did really like about the second one was the fact that it gave uh, Jessica Alba a lot, much stronger material, and gives allows her character to really sort of step up and be stronger than just um, I've got a crush on
Yeah.
old Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
It's so yeah. So that was something I liked about it. The rest of it was kind of this first one had a magic touch that I don't think they were able to fully replicate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's when you make something this good, it's kind of hard to follow it up and retain all that magic. But yeah, like AT says, you didn't miss much.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Okay, so and we've gone all over the place now.
We
So
have. That's okay.
so I don't even necessarily know. Let's jump back to a Marv's story. Why can't I remember the I'm trying to remember the hard goodbye. That's
Okay.
what it's called.
I don't know. I don't know the storyline, like proper names of the storyline, so I'm just rolling with it. Marv.
Yeah, no. Just like the beginning when he's been set up and all the cops are coming in, like just the way he says everything, he's like, the cops are telling me too much.
Yeah.
Here too early before anybody, me or the killer, could know there's been a murder.
Someone paid good money for this frame or this setup. Yeah.
And then he just goes wild with all the cops. I love how he continues narrating while he's like tossing a cop out of the car, and like that
was an especially like a weird like fu to the cops. Like he just like ran that cop car into the into the water. Like you could have just abandoned it, but okay.
I know, but that's so beautiful the way it's done, where he just like he's providing exposition,
Yeah.
while also driving that
the hell I'm gonna send him to will be a relief, compared to what I put him through.
He's out of the car and swimming through the water, and it's just it's so beautiful. But yeah, it's so great, and then sorry, go ahead.
When he is talking to Lucille, like, and she's like, she's walking around like with with her boobs out and a thong with a gun, and I'm just like, all right, Carla, I see you.
Yeah,
nice.
Honestly, my apologies, guys. We're on YouTube. There's just there were a whole bunch of images that I would have loved to put up, but it's just not gonna happen. Go watch the movie.
But when she said calm down, Marv, like and he's like, there ain't no calming down. Like this is the bad old days. Yeah, this is the bad old days.
The all or nothing days.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like so excited about it. And I'm like, that's very well put. Like, he wasn't called the good old days, the bad old days. Yeah. Yeah. An excellent touch.
Yeah. God, it's so great. And that especially the music cue that kicks up when he leaves her place, and then it shows him like running across the rooftops and then walking down the street. It's like that's sort of I feel like that's his main theme, and it's just like gets you amped up for like, yeah, go kick some ass, Marv.
When one of the guys, someone gets thrown out of the bar and he just like steps on them and over them, and then he's like, the bouncer's like, what are you looking at? Oh God. And and he says something, and then he just like grabs his face and like shoving it.
Sorry, Marv, he didn't know.
Yeah. And of course, like, you know, the hitman, he's like, "That's a mighty fine coat you're wearing."
Oh no, we're not skipping over.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We're not skipping over Jessica.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I'm very sorry.
Sorry, this is definitely the indulgent part of the stream.
No. I shall. I'm just gonna stand by.
Okay, we're good.
Yep. Yeah, that's Jessica Alba. Yep.
Yeah, no, it was very important that we took that moment. Yep. But anyway, progress.
Yeah, you know, when he's like talking to the priest, that's great. And the priest being Frank Miller. Is even like better. He's like, "You mean figurative blood on your hands?" No, there's actually oh god, as he's like driving that car with the guy's face on the ground, he's like, "I don't know about you, but I'm having a ball.
I did it all for you, AK. All for you." Yeah, no, that's great.
John's selfless like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, like, just as it's showing him going through and torturing all these guys, but yeah, the shot where, like you just said, where he's dragging the guy on the street, like, first of all, like, completely like over the top, unrealistic.
Physics. Hey, what's going on? You can't do that, but Mickey Rourke can.
Yeah, exactly.
Marv can. Marv can drag someone face down with their feet up the whole time.
Yeah, and then there's this whole bit where Marv, you know, thinks he's hallucinating because Goldie has a twin sister who is exactly like her down to every detail, apparently.
Yeah, they smell the same.
Yeah.
That whole thing was like her, you know, coming in with the car on the, you know, in the convertible, like just like wheeling around, shooting at him, and I'm just like, man, she sucks. Like, I don't think she lands one of those shots.
But then she hits him with the car, and he goes flying up in the air, and like, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's
environmental damage. What's that?
He can take anything.
Yeah. When it comes to like Marv and Hartigan, they can get shot. They, you know, that it's fine. Marv can get electrocuted. Is that the best you've got?
Yeah, that's God. Oh my God, I love him so much. It's just like, of course, and again, I do want to address some of the. Obviously, this movie is not. It's not great on its treatment of women. You know, one minute Marv's saying, "And I don't hit girls," and then 2 minutes later, except to knock out Wendy to protect her.
Yeah, it's like, great.
Yeah. So, not really, but again, like, and I doubt I'm probably giving, you know, the creators too much credit, but it's like, it does illustrate the fact that Marv is not actually a good guy.
Yeah. But I love the moment where like Gail's character is first introduced, and she's just like, "Hit him again, Wendy." It's like, oh, great! Oh my gosh, yes. No, we can just sit here. We'll just sit here. Talk about this scene.
I'm here to help you out.
Sorry, what was I saying? Okay, yeah. Hit him again, Wendy. Yeah, when he's just kind of like just sitting there taking it. And then when he stands up, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Yeah,
I
no,
do love
guilty. Yeah, I agreed.
I do love Gail's line. I tied those knots myself. That's my specialty.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything. I'm a sailor. Not going
I
there. Tie my own
I know.
knots. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's Marv. Apparently, his one of his
Mhm.
hidden talents is that he's able to just
Yeah.
get out of any knot.
I never really liked their exchanges until I think they were um in the car, and like, she lights up a cigarette and hands it to him, and it's like, oh, he's got a thing for her too. Well, of course he does. Um but they, like, towards the end of his arc, and he calls her Goldie, and he said, I'm sorry, I got confused again, and she said, you can call me Goldie, it's okay. And like, they just kind of lay there in the cell. I don't know, I really appreciated that little moment.
Dan, is her voice still quiet? Because I know it felt uh, like it dipped down for a second or two, but I thought it got better again. Um,
uh
if anybody else is having a problem hearing Kelly, just let me know.
okay.
But yeah, no. Uh, so we're pretty much getting, I think we're wrapping up with Marv, and we're about an hour in, so we'll do the mid roll soon. But I just, yeah, I absolutely love when he's, tied up to the chair.
When they first put it on him, like, he's looking dead on into the camera, and it's like he looks so goofy and but sinister at the same time.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. Okay, I ain't
It,
got all day.
yeah, and I mean, just the hilarity of the fact that they've electrocuted him and he's still going, and it's like, says,
Yeah.
"Is that the best you can do?" And oh god, but yeah, well, we can pause there,
All right.
and we'll continue on. Just gonna talk about what's coming up. Well, first of all, if you are watching this and you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and please subscribe if you like what you see. I don't remember to do that enough, which may be why I haven't seen my subscriber
Wait.
count go up at all.
Also, we're talking so much before the stream, and then we just kind of like went right on into it.
Yeah.
Like, no introductions. It's just like, hey, all right, hey, sorry, we're late. We're gonna talk about this movie, and then right on into it.
Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have anything coming up next week because I actually was hoping to set something up. It fell through. So next week we're actually going to take a break because honestly, I could use one. Want to make sure that I don't, tire myself out like I have done in the past. So we're going to take next week off, but then the week after, Kate is going to come on and join me, and we're going to be talking about the original animated Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
So make sure you
Thankfully,
guys.
not Gilmore Girls.
No. So make sure you tune in for that. So that'll be the week after next. And I do have stuff scheduled after that, and I'll let you guys know what's coming up. Kelly, have you started up your own channel on boating?
No. No. I had this. I just had this. I feel like I just had this discussion with Dan / Voice of Geekdom the other day. It's like, I don't like when it comes to subscribers either, like, signing up and then falling off. Like, I would take that too personally, and I just can't. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
Like, I see how stressed you guys are. Why do I want a piece of that?
What are you talking about? I'm never stressed out about the stuff I have to do. Yeah, no.
I think I think before this, the last thing I did was actually for Voice of Geekdom for uh, Tolkien in the Sea. So I was a guest of Dan's on Voice of Geekdom.
Yeah, like
And that was months ago. So like going several months without being on a live stream feels weird now.
yeah, I pretty much try to avoid like doing any additional things since I already, I do Here Be Dragons on Sundays, and then I do this on Saturdays. But whenever it's anything Tolkien, which usually means if there's an opportunity to do something on Dan's channel or on Helen's channel, or if anybody else wants to talk Tolkien, I have a very hard time resisting. So that's usually, if you guys see me anywhere else, it's usually because I'm talking Lord of the Rings. So hey, Amy.
Hi,
Hey.
Amy.
We're doing the mid roll, and we've gotten a lot of the thirst out of the way, but there's sure to be more.
What?
So. Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, I see.
No, I don't know what you're talking about when you say it's out of the way.
Oh. Anyway, before we jump back in, I do want to bring something up because I haven't really had the chance to talk in real time with anybody about this, and I'm just so excited. You'll notice the shirt that I'm wearing today, and something got announced yesterday.
Okay, a bunch of something.
Well, a bunch of stuff, but
a truckload.
But the thing that I really, really care about, which is the revival of X-Men the animated series on Disney Plus, not until 2023, but it's coming. And this is, for anybody keeping track, this is probably like the first Marvel Studios thing that I've ever been this excited about.
What do you mean? Tell us how you feel about Marvel.
But it's so funny because I've been such a downer about the whole thing with Disney buying out Fox and the fact that now that the Fox series of X-Men films was going to be no more, and now it was all going to be part of the MCU and everything. And I never in a million years dreamed that the way they were going to reintroduce the X-Men was going to be by a freaking X-Men the animated series revival. Mm-hmm. And it's really happening that way, and I'm just so excited.
Yeah, I told my coworkers this morning, and they were like, they're just going to re-air it, and I'm like, no, it's like, it's more. And they're like, yes, really? I said, yeah, along with like a billion other things that they dropped as well. But yeah, Disney was just like, here you go. We're going to do all of this. And it's just like, yay, 2023.
Here we go.
Boy.
Yeah, I'm just, God, I'm just so excited. It's going to be so great.
The Jubilee.
Because honestly, this isn't X-Men the animated series has never stopped being when I think of the X-Men, that's what I think of. As much as I loved the films over the years, and believe me, I went crazy for a great many of them, but it's like these are the characters that I think of, and I think of that theme music and everything. So the fact that this is coming back is just, it fills my heart with so much joy.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, yeah, that's right. I had a crush on a cartoon.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring up some of what was discussed when Amy and I were doing private watch parties of X-Men the animated series. Mum's the word.
All right.
But yeah. There may have been some things said about Rogue. I'm not gonna go further than that.
Okay. Yeah. I can. Yeah. I can imagine. And that's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Like,
see.
Yeah. There we go.
But yeah, I am so excited for that. And so yeah, pigs can fly apparently, because like now I am so super gung-ho about the return of the X-Men done by Marvel Studios.
I love how you had that image ready to go, by the way, for the mid.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, John. Yep.
I knew I was going to want to talk about it. Like, there was no way that I was having you on the stream today, the day after the news came out, and not talk about X-Men. Yeah, this is just going to be a whole new phase of my, you know.
I gotta go back through some more comics and send you some more.
Yeah, no, this is just so great. Sorry. Yeah, Amy.
Get hype. You've got 2 years. Start reading up, people.
Well, and what's great is, because I didn't even really notice it at first, but if you do look at that picture that I posted, which you can find, it's from the video that's on Disney Plus about their upcoming shows. It's very quick. Like, it's when they're listing off like the shows that they don't yet have footage for at the end of the video. But the video is in 4K, so you can bet I paused it and like went up and looked at details of the image. But the thing is, it's not like pulled character images from the original series. You can tell that it's new character models, because they're just a bit different from the original, but still, very reminiscent of, the characters' appearances are all there, but the art is slightly different. So it's a nice glimpse into what it's going to look like. And even though we're still 2 years away, but God dang it, I'm going to get excited now.
Those of you that aren't obsessed, you've got time to get obsessed. So get obsessed.
Yeah, Steven.
Thank you, Steven.
You need to fix that. You've got time. It's 2 years. So okay, I'm gonna restrain myself now. Gotten that out. This is a Sin City stream, so we're pull back, and we're gonna dive back into them.
Like comic books, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, okay, so we pretty much covered the hard goodbye, and we have talked a lot already about the big fat kill, but is there is there more, from that story that we haven't mentioned yet, aside from how freaking amazing Gale is.
Yeah. So like the hard goodbye, that's Marv's story, right? Yeah. I do love the when he laughed about, like, he would just spit blood on the confession and just laugh at how many times they keep printing new ones up. And then oh god, someone says, or he said, they threatened his mom, and he broke the guy's arm in 3 places and signed it. And he's just like, well, I'm glad he, at least got to get that out.
Dan, this is a family stream. If you could just keep that, bottled up, be much appreciated. Okay.
There's oh god, what's Scott Campbell or something, like one of the Marvel artists, like his yeah, his art of like Mary Jane and Black Cat are just like super hot, and it's just like, like I kind of want to hate this, but I can't because it's really good and really hot.
Yeah, as someone who like, because I was never like like I was first and foremost into the animated shows, whether it was X-Men or Spider-Man, Batman, the animated series. So that was pretty much, if I knew comic book stuff, it came from the shows. But but I was also like going with my friends to, like, back in the days when comic book stores were more, you know were more of a thing, to the point where we'd actually go to them, and not just, people weren't just buying stuff off of Amazon. um,
I was gonna say, like, are they not a thing? I still go to my local comic shop.
I mean, I haven't been to one in years. I just, thing is, because I'm not really sure if there's one around here. Whereas I know back then it was something that I was aware of.
We'll find one in Dallas.
And anyway, so the point was going through all those comic books, like the X-Men comics, when I was that age, I was very aware of the art style.
Yeah.
uh,
certain art styles, yeah.
Yeah. And so nowadays it's like, yes, for shame on those artists. I do not approve of that at all. Not at all.
Meanwhile, like, I'm just gonna like hide the posters I have up on this wall right here. I mean, it's mostly Jean Grey, and there's one Daredevil. Yeah. There's one, two, 3, 4. Yeah, there's
Cassie, nobody that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay, now we're just like keep going back into X-Men. Yeah. Yes.
So anyway, comic books, hypersexualization. Let's go.
Exactly. No, let's stay away from that topic. I will only get myself into trouble.
Okay.
But so yeah, the big fat kill, which we were jumping all around, so we've talked quite a bit about it. But like, aside from the general thirst, what was it that made this story, like, your favorite of the?
God, it just seemed so straightforward when it came to, oh crap, Jack's a cop. Like, we need to get rid of the body, and then all this like crap keeps happening. Like,
well, and
see, like, how does the Irish mob show up? And
but with Jack, where, like, Mio, like, cuts his hand off, and then he did something,
don't none of you laugh.
Yeah, this isn't funny.
Yeah. That's what, I mean, again, like, I feel like the cast members and I feel like the actors, leaned into this and had fun. Like, I just good fun with these roles and with these lines.
Just look at his eyes.
You want to see it? You want to see what I got? I love it when she's like, besides, I don't do group jobs. I don't do talk jobs either.
God. And yeah, so then he's got, like, he's backfired the gun, like, right into his head, and he's back there. He's got, like, this, what is it? It's like, it's not a star because it's like a swastika,
Yeah.
Whatever, and it's like sticking out of
Yeah.
his butt.
Yeah, and it's like
And
it's very well defined and highlighted, like in
yeah,
that black and white motif. It's very easy to spot.
and that's where Dwight's like, yeah, for God's sakes, Mio,
Yeah.
finish.
I can't remember what he's mumbling or anything like as he, backs up and drops down. But yeah, that whole yeesh.
Yeah, that line's never gonna get old.
Mhm. They're never gonna fit in that trunk. Not like this.
And then of course, the trailer line, a hard top with a decent engine, and make sure it's got a
Got a
big
big
trunk.
trunk.
And then like he keeps mentioning, like he's like, we're never gonna fit him in that trunk,
Yeah.
It's great.
All right. Well, then make that, the first priority then. Big trunk and then hard top with a decent engine. And
It's
a
like,
full tank, please. As
yeah, it's
well.
like,
Forgot to mention that.
yeah, it's like everything that,
Stupid criteria.
yeah, it's like he pretty much gets, except the fact that it's got a hard top, but that's pretty much pretty much all that goes right. And I just, yeah, and I love when dead Jackie Boy is like, they let you down.
Yeah. That when he like slams on the brakes and then his head slams against and the hammer goes even further into his skull. It's like
And
we've
that,
all wanted to do that to an annoying passenger anyway, but there's a special sick satisfaction to that one.
and then that cop is not a very like
Not very observant.
not very observant.
Yeah. Your friend is like had a little too much. I'm the designated driver.
It's like, okay, I get that he's slammed into thing, but how do you not see that he's got something sticking out of his head?
Because they're only seeing in black and white, John. Can't see the blood.
God, yeah, and again, like, I'm sorry. At a certain point, I'm just reciting lines because I just
That's okay.
love it. And Dwight's like, I forget how it starts off. He's like, can't even bring myself to tell him to shut up. Sure, he's an asshole. Sure, he's dead. That doesn't make him any less right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I like that. That makes sense that scene was directed by Tarantino.
Yeah, and I love the flashes of color that are because it's in black and white, but that scene especially has like the flat,
the blue,
the blue and the green and everything. It's just so beautifully done, and like during this entire section of the movie, it's like it's in black and white, but they show Dwight's shoes, his red shoes.
Those red Chuck Taylors. Yep.
God, it's just so great. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. And that when he like leans over and he's like leaning against him and he's giggling like a very, just like the gas tank on E. Oh man, what a great moment. Yep.
That's the thing I like. And Benicio del Toro has done a lot of great work, but I don't think I've ever been more entertained by him than in that scene. He's just so great.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like he's really funny and he's really like easy to laugh at and easy to hate. But I think when he started talking again, I was like, oh, good, he's not done. Like his role isn't over with yet.
and that's the thing because that's what I really love when because Jackie Boy is like one of the worst pieces of scum you can imagine.
Yeah.
It's and you just hate his guts watching, especially that early scene where he's at Shelley's apartment, and of course, and the whole bit where he's like, yeah, and making up stories about me. I never hit a woman before. Of course, he hits her, and it's just revolting. Just watching him, and then turn to this scene that is just so completely ludicrous, and it shows Benicio del Toro's strength as an actor, that he can get laughs out of the audience.
Oh, when he gets his face shoved in piss, like
oh yeah.
And then he's like, he comes out and he's like, no questions. We're leaving.
There you go.
Oh my God.
You made quite a mistake yourself. You didn't flush.
Yeah.
And that shot of Clive Owen.
Completely dead eyes. Yes. Like, oh, you're a killer? No kidding. Yeah, after all of that is deduced, like, he's like, all they have to do is run my fingerprints to figure out I'm a recently released killer with a new face. It's like, oh, is that what's going on? Okay, that helps.
And here's the shot from directly before that.
Yeah.
It's so great.
I'm Shelley's boyfriend and I'm out of my mind.
Again, I want to say that's such a great line, but like there's just a million great lines.
Yeah.
And I love the way this is shot, because of course I have seen pictures of the graphic novel, and the fact that his face is pretty much in the graphic novel completely like in shadow, so you don't really see his face. Okay. Obviously they're not going to do that in a movie.
Especially if it's Clive Owen.
Yeah, but I still do like the way they have him lit there. So it's very shadowy, but
yeah,
but you can still see his face. Yeah, like even I'm gonna say like it would be a crime to cover up Clive Owen's face, because it's freaking Clive Owen. He's awesome.
Yeah, you're not, and at that point, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to bother doing that. It's like, no, we're gonna show him off. It's quite all right with me.
And I just love everything with him and Dwight and Gail, just their whole back and forth, and the way he calls her my warrior woman.
Yeah, my Valkyrie. Yeah, it's the whole thing with I'm like, man, I want to hear about their little, fling going on. This sounds hot as hell.
Yeah, I think again, like, I don't remember. I know there's stuff with them in the sequel, but again, it's not Clive Owen, so it doesn't really work for me. It's like, yes, I know, okay, he was supposed to have a different face, but god damn it, just give me give me Clive Owen. So like,
and also like, but they have the best on-screen kisses.
Yeah.
Gail and Dwight, like damn, it's great. And in the context of the story, it's like, when she's like, us helpless women, and he's like, he says all kinds of bloodshed is about to happen, and I still can't take my eyes off of her. It's like, me too.
Yeah, no, when she like pulls him in for that and kiss, it's like she's hungry.
Yeah.
We'll just say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got this ferocity in the role that she's just fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's hot. I love the like maternal role that she has with the girls as well. When she's like, she's kind of like giving orders a little bit, but when she's like, we'll fight the cops, we'll fight the mob, and it's just like, sounds like you're just freaking out. But she's still thinking like from a rational position, like, no, we just need to buckle down and get this done. And I like the fact that they kind of all, work with each other. Unfortunately, she, trusts the wrong
Except for
person.
this one.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, she does get to, like, literally sink her teeth into her, though.
Yeah, although I was watching this, it's like, no, Gail, don't let her leave. It's like, just, be like, no, this is a special case. Everybody stay put.
Yep.
But yeah. But then we wouldn't have the plot wheels in motion. So
Yeah. And that very, very satisfying last scene. At least to me,
oh
anyway. I think
my
I completely forgot that she escaped that alley. That she just got shot. Again, you get shot. It's fine. It's fine. Just roll up into a gutter. You're fine.
which
You'll be all
again,
right.
like, and John Debney's music during that, final scene of the big fat kill, like when she's, you know, getting under the grate and everything, and as all the guns are being fired off and stuff,
Yeah.
the music is incredible. It just has this almost operatic grandeur about
Hmm.
it. I just love it, and again, it was a really great touch. I think having different composers for each story, because it just adds that different flavor for
I
each
like
one.
the for what's happening on screen and the juxtaposition of the music. It's like it's I think the combination is very well done when it
Yeah,
comes to the conclusion of um, this particular story, and the finality of kind of the girls solving their problem, but then, like, you don't get the satisfaction of these two lovebirds. Still got tar on his face. Love it.
this was
Yeah.
pretty much like the one screen grab scene I was able to get. It's the one where there's not too much revealing.
Yeah. You can't have too many butt cheeks.
Yeah, but yeah, no. I used to think that the Hard Goodbye was my favorite of the stories, but this might be now. Like, just because I don't know, like the Hard Goodbye, sort of, what makes that so great is Marv, and just Mickey Rourke's performance throughout the whole thing. But I feel like story wise, I feel like this one is the one that's firing on all cylinders, and um, yeah, and I really like the the dynamic between Clive Owen and Rosario Dawson, and
Hmm.
I just think it works beautifully.
Yep. Fully
Uh,
agree. Absolutely.
yeah, and then as you said, it ends on this, like, almost like in a strange way, like star-crossed lovers. The
Yeah.
fact that
The whole always and never thing. Oh God,
yeah,
that's heartbreaking. It's like, oh, these, like, savage killers, they deserve each other, but they can't have each
yeah, yeah. There's got to be some fanfic somewhere where they get
other.
their happily ever after.
Or whatever their version is.
Yeah, exactly.
Bloody ever after.
Um, so okay, we got about another half hour left. We haven't talked that much about that yellow bastard because
Meh.
it's this. But um, no, yeah, like, I don't know. It's got Jessica Alba, so that's
Yeah,
like
that's
the
yeah,
point in
it's
its favor.
Nancy. Yeah. Yep. You have this, like,
Yes.
um when you have you pop the DVD in, and it's got the intro, with the menu up there, and it's just like it's mostly Jessica Alba up there, and it's just like there's not enough of that in the movie for you to have it so much featured.
Yes, but it makes for great screen captures.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's yeah. I mean, there's it has always been kind of my least favorite of the stories, which does not mean it's not without its, like I think it works very well bookended, you
Mm-hmm.
know, with the other stories in between. But it's just like the whole thing with like take away his weapons, both of them, and it's just there's something
Well,
sick
the
and
if
and
we go
overly
back
gruesome about it.
if we go back just a little bit, him being in like the solitary like jail cell,
Yeah.
and like the passage of time, that was really difficult for me to follow, to really
Hmm.
know what was going on, because of course they're not going to show Bruce Willis aging. So when he gets out and like he's at some apartment, whose finger was that in the envelope? Like how did they know it was her? Like what how did that actually conclude? Because they kind of like they raise the stakes by sending like a fake or a finger,
Well,
someone's finger, but like and then they happen to be at the bar.
well, I guess the thing was that they suspected that it was her. I mean, I don't think it would take a genius to, you know,
Hmm.
figure that out. But she never left, any trace in the letters about like where she was. So the idea was to make him think that they'd gotten to her, so that the second he gets out, he'd go looking for her, and then they'd, so they pretty much just had to follow him.
Steven, what are you talking about? If you really love someone, you should recognize her fingerprints.
I mean, you're right, Sean. When you're right, you're right.
Yep. But I like when Nancy is kind of uh like introduced into Marv's, the few times that she's in Marv's story. Um and he's like, "Yeah, I took care of a boyfriend tried to rough her up in college, some frat boy." And it's just like men are garbage. Like just it's just this continuous theme.
Yeah,
Um
I do like, she's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get out of town? He's like, hell no, I like it here.
yeah. Yeah, I like it here. Yeah, and he's got like a really great like grin on his face too. That I think like that moment where Hardigan goes into the bar and is like, "I'm looking, this can't be it. I'm looking for someone named Nancy," and Shelly's like, "Eyes to the stage," and then he's like, coming to that realization, like, "Oh God, she's got boobs and a butt. How did this happen? I don't understand." She's supposed to be 19 but still skinny. I don't get it. God, idiot.
Yeah, yeah. The whole thing kind of does get a little weird at that point.
And then like and then like, oh God, the whole thing with like Yellow Bastard being there too. It's just like, oh, gross.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it always struck me as I do think that Guilty Undertaker it kind of nails it here. The way it's always been for me, like there's
Hmm.
the a lot of the rest of the film has, you know a certain tone and feel, but there's just but that latter part of that Yellow Bastard is just, it goes over to sort of grossing the viewer out.
Yeah, and
in certain parts.
the sinister thing about Nancy not, she's determined not to scream,
Yeah,
and the concept that the audience has to understand that he is mostly turned on by little girls, and little girls in pain screaming. So it's
yeah,
just like he keeps calling Jessica Alba fat. Oh my god,
yeah.
my brain. Ugh, gross.
But yeah, so yeah, no, I don't I think it's, I don't dislike, the that part of the movie. I think it works,
Hmm.
um and it doesn't detract from the movie. But like I said, I think it's always been kind of my least favorite part of
It
the
is
movie.
the most twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
The whole dynamic between Hartigan and his partner, I'm just like, I don't really get this. Like, how, how'd you not see your partner was crooked after, what do you say, hell of a way to end a partnership or something? It's like, yeah, tell me about it.
yeah, and it
You got a bum ticker. I'm sorry, I cannot get over that stupid line.
no, the worst line is you're gonna take me down with you. I ain't putting up with that.
Hey, look at that.
So yeah, um
Oh God. I'm sorry. I just got like the big yellow belly and everything. Ugh.
yeah, it's, well, again, like I definitely was not gonna get a screen capture of that.
Yeah.
That's kind of
The
gross.
the like Bruce Willis hanging like with his hands bound behind his back, and he's like he's like everything goes dark, and then he's like, wait, like, and he just like kind of wakes up again. That moment in the movie theater was pretty funny. We're
It's
like, what
like,
the?
this can't get you. You've been shot
Yeah,
5 billion times. Obviously, you're Superman.
yeah. He gets shot. He can't shoot him. You can't hang him. Yeah, what the hell? But I think the angina is actually what ends up taking him out. I think. Was it Dan's
Yeah.
question?
Um.
Yeah, whatever like experiments that they
Yeah. It's
uh
whatever they use to make, you know to grow
also
him back.
another great actor we've lost, Powers Booth,
Yeah.
Senator Rourke.
Which, and that actually is one of the, and there are some good things about the sequel. One of them is that Powers Booth gets a much meatier role,
Okay.
in that one. Uh, he was great. I don't know. Have you ever seen Deadwood,
No.
the TV show? Oh, he's great in that. But I mean, he's been great in so many things. But anybody watching this who hasn't watched Deadwood, go
Tombstone.
watch it.
Tombstone.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But I'm always trying to convince people to watch Deadwood, so
Mm-hmm.
this just gives me an excuse. But yeah, no, like, it's never a good thing when we lose anybody, certainly, but there are definitely certain actors that it stings a little harder, and Powers Booth is one of them, because I feel like he was such a major part of so many movies that I grew up watching.
Yeah, and Rutger Hauer, he passed more recently, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Um,
my God, he's really despicable.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he's such a great bad guy. He and Powers Booth, like they are very sinister, like they can be. when uh, Senator Rourke is like standing at the end of the bed, like that was, oh god, that was freaky.
I know, and they had something like really weird going on with his eyes.
Yeah.
That
They were really pale or something.
yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if they were meant to look more dead or something. Oh, ugh.
Yeah. So what do we think thematically the takeaway of this film is? That it's not good to eat people.
Give like yeah, you start to go down a dark hole if you play a Hobbit too long.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because I don't even know if I've ever like really taken the time to think about what the themes of the
We
film
talked about like just what dumb fun it is.
Yeah, and that's sort of the way I've always approached the movie is like, the just how awesome the performances are and how hilarious some of the lines are, and just so I'm trying to think of what I actually think of this.
It's okay to root for bad guys as long as they're just slightly less bad guys.
Yeah. Like thematically, I don't know, this world, the Basin City really sucks. And that there's bad people, and then there's really, really freaking horrible people.
Yeah, there's so many shades of dark gray to blackest black when it comes to the levels of sin. Are we like which levels are we rooting for here?
Yeah. Oh, and I'm not saying that there isn't. Sorry, I don't want it to be. It's in just that I've. It's funny because I think that people are probably thinking that every time I turn on a movie, I'm always thinking like 10 layers deep about it. And Sin City has always kind of been one of those ones where I just appreciate like the sort of simultaneously the absurdity, the the awesomeness.
Okay, so John, I do have a question.
Yeah.
So you can appreciate the dumb fun that this is.
Yeah.
But when it comes to not the fourth Pirates movie, okay, but the fifth one, that to me was like the epitome of just senseless dumb fun. And I had that moment in the theater watching it with a bunch of people that just were like absolutely loving the level of insanity and ridiculousness of it. So, but like, for those that don't know, John and Lady Triple, recently have done discussions on the Pirates movies, which were very good. Check them out. But yeah, when it comes to turning off my brain, enjoying, this complete bonkers movie, that's, I kind of consider the fifth Pirates movie level of Sin City. Not as heavy and dark and twisted, though.
Yeah, but there's well made, big dumb fun, and then there's really shitty dumb fun. And that's what I consider the fifth Pirates.
All right.
To be. And it's completely insulting to my love of the first three. So yeah, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's certainly a thing. I feel like it's really funny looking at this movie actually through the lens of like, thinking about when I watched it, and the fact that this was only 2 years after Lord of the Rings, and I was still so much in the phase of appreciating stories about, truly, good people and absolute villains, even though, I still
There's a
mean,
yeah,
I
there's
still
this
mean,
like defined line, good
yeah,
versus evil.
even though, of course, Gollum is kind of that murky area in the middle. For that story, but I hadn't yet entered into the like Game of Thrones phase of my life, where I
Yeah.
was appreciating like the uh, the gray areas of morality in my storytelling, and so I actually feel like this may have been one of the early examples of me enjoying something like that, where there's nobody's really good. It's just everybody's really crappy. It's just, some of these people are really entertaining to watch,
Hmm.
and they're like on the side of good ish.
They're
But
less bad.
yeah, but that doesn't necessarily make them good people.
Right.
I think if anything, this my enjoyment of this movie was kind of a glimpse into, you know, where where my tastes were going to eventually take me. Um,
I
yeah,
definitely appreciated the freshness of it. It was unlike any movie that was, out at that time or popular at that time, and it was, I think it was bold and brave, to go in on a movie like this. But again, it does help when you have like a fully stacked cast uh, to draw an audience in, so you can make it like the visual storytelling of a comic book, and not worry about uh, the hesitance of certain production companies telling you no,
yeah,
you can't do that.
yeah, and I do want to mention something else. I think the reason why um, uh, the I guess either the first or last story, depending on how you look at it. That yellow bastard. The reason why it does actually still work for me is because at the time when I went in to see this movie, I didn't know anything about Frank Miller's graphic novels. Um, so like the closest thing I could compare this movie to was Pulp Fiction. Um, and so I think the fact that that story had Bruce Willis as kind of like it was like the sort of carryover between movies cast wise, and so I think that that's why I still enjoyed that story, because I was a fan and still am of Bruce Willis, and so um, uncomfortable parts of the story aside, it still had
Mhm.
like that actor that I recognized from this style of movie with nonlinear storytelling and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, so and then the movie closes off with uh this scene
Yeah.
where Becky gets pretty much what she
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
she's got coming.
And that's with the the recall, or the callback to that very first scene. It's like, oh, okay, like, and we can appreciate that conclusion, because again, at that point I forgot about her,
Yeah,
and it's just like, her. It's like, oh, this one little, this really depressing movie, and then there's this satisfying moment.
yeah, and I think the movie needs that, because just it needs something that feels like, okay, this is the end of the film, so it calls back all the way to the beginning but also links it to the Big Fat Kill storyline.
Yeah.
So I think both of those things are good. And I think Guilty Undertaker is right also. The thing about Bruce Willis is that he's as close as we get to a morally upright
Yeah.
character in this movie. So I think that story has that going for it as well.
And what do
And
you get for it? You just get shot and shot and shot.
Until like the only shot that matters is the one you deliver yourself, because he shoots himself in the head.
Yeah.
At the end.
What that when he's like, I take away his weapon, like both of them, and like instead of shooting him in the groin, he just
like that's so gross. It's
I was
like,
just
I don't
like
want to
physically,
see that.
I like even like even the girls in the audience are like, oh, just like whoa.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to. Like, it probably sounds like I'm railing really hard on that story and that part of the movie. I actually, I think it's, it's God, it's merits. It works as part of the movie, and God knows, as much as I could say the same now, but especially back in 2005, I was in love with Jessica Alba. So like, but that said, like it's just not my favorite part of the movie. And so yeah, but
Yeah.
but it doesn't drag down the movie at all.
I can fully appreciate like when the appearances that she makes in Marv's story, specifically when he goes like goes to her place and they have a beer, like she's wearing a white t-shirt and jeans, and Jesus, I was like, whoa. She's like, she doesn't need to wear cowboy chaps, like that's she's really pretty.
Yeah.
I like it here. We know why you like it there, Marv. It's like Nancy and Nancy's beer.
What was it? It was either a couple or a few weeks ago. We were having a conversation on Zoom about let's just say it veered onto the subject of top fives. And
that's right. Yes.
Both you and me had Jessica Alba, and you were like, we're really dating ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
and see, for me, it was the movie Honey.
I can appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen it, but I know of it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
But
if you like see the poster, it's fine. You're good.
But no, I had like my memory goes. I remember the early days of when Dark Angel was premiering on Fox.
Oh, yeah.
because I was working at the local Fox station back then.
Okay.
Oh my God, has it really been that long? But yeah, no. So every time there was like a new Fox show premiering, it's like it was hard to avoid because. But yeah, no. Okay, I'm gonna step away from the conversations about how old I'm feeling.
To make an appearance. There we go.
Oh yeah,
Kitty.
Nothing else. Yeah, I don't think anything else in the stream matters. It's.
You're mad because I haven't fed you yet. I know. I understand. It's okay. All right. Kata.
Yeah, everybody just, like, honestly, like this stream would have been a failure if there was no Kitty. It's just the way it is.
At some point, like the other cat was like in here, kind of like poking around, and I'm like, don't come over here.
But
the one I can't pick up. That's the other one. I can't pick her up. That one. she's
I
all right.
would, I seriously would like, have my little Sam, my dog Sam in here for every stream, if not for the fact that like he does not like, he refuses to stay put in any one room for longer than a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He has to have reign of the whole house. So that's why you guys never see him on here.
Mm.
But
You sure he's
but
not
yeah,
a little bit cat? That sounds kind of
I'm sure.
cattish. Yeah.
Believe me. But yeah, no, it's I do we leave anything out? I feel like we pretty much covered the whole movie.
Let's see here. Yeah, I think I someone mentioned Josh Hartnett with glasses being like really cute, and I agree. Yeah, I think we covered everything.
He absolutely would not guilty undertaker. He will go off uh and use the ring for farming on his own. But okay, so I think that about does it. Thank you, Kelly, for coming on to talk with me
Thank you
about
for having
this.
me.
Yeah, no problem. This was so much fun. Like,
I loved having an excuse to watch the movie. It's been a couple of years, and I did remember that I had it, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, you want to talk about that? I'll just
I'm
like
really
pop it
impressed.
in.
I'm really impressed that you still have the original DVD.
Hmm. I don't know. I'm kind of like maybe a hoarder a little bit.
I yes, I who have a strategically, placed camera shot, so you all don't see the rest of my room. I wouldn't know anything about hoarding. No, like if I move to the side, you can see the problem that I'm having with books.
Nice.
And that's not the only pile to be found in the room. So, but yeah, no, it's funny because I was actually unsure about how this talk would go because as fun as the movie is, there also is, as we kind of talked about, there's kind of a lot of gross out moments. So I was actually wondering about that, but I had a blast talking about this.
Yeah,
It's great.
there's graphic moments. It's not like to an intense extreme. I oh god, when I looked up some of the stats for the movie, and it said rated R, and like for some reason I couldn't remember like exactly why it's rated R, because like you could have some boobs in PG-13, but I was like, oh wait, it is really violent.
Yeah.
Like even if not like on screen, it's implied. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Definitely.
it's
Yeah.
just an insane amount of fun. And yeah, I just as soon as I press play on the movie and after the opening logos and then you hear that music creep in, as it
Well,
opens up.
the girl, like the woman like walking out onto the balcony with that red dress flowing in the wind, and it's like, I think, is there a saxophone that like opens up? Is
Yeah,
that yeah?
yeah,
It's it's like what have I gotten myself into? But after like I was about to be like after he plugs her, but after he shoots her and he's sitting there holding her, and then like dun 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 dun, and it's like the intro. It's so great. It's like, oh, I don't know why, but you're just like, oh hell yeah, yeah.
yeah. No, it's just it immediately took me back to seeing this in the theaters and back when it premiered and I just had a goofy grin on my face for the rest of the time. Even when there were moments I was like, ugh. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just a really fun movie, and that's impressive given some of some of the subject matter,
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, yeah, and since he may be the only movie where the same character gets castrated twice, that in itself is an achievement.
Yeah. Where the what Dan was talking about, like as far as like him turning yellow, like whatever, however they rebuilt him or whatever, and whatever they had to inject him with. Yeah, and Hartigan like mentioned several times like how bad the guy smells. I'm just like, ugh, yikes. It's like I can just imagine.
Yeah, I was really happy that they hadn't invented like like a theatrical experience where you smelled
I thought you were about to
everything.
say like 3D, like when
Oh,
like bits like flying off people, when they get
oh,
chopped up, shot through, punched, and had their like all those rebuilt testicles ripped out.
yeah, no, uh, like there's some parts in this movie that I would have been very happy to see
Oh
in
my god.
3D. Um, but that's not one of them. All right, I'm
I
gonna
know, like
stop.
why didn't
I'm gonna
oh
stop.
man. No, it's
Um,
that's great. I mean,
okay,
there's some parts that would okay, yeah.
yeah.
So we
Um,
needed 3D and more man flesh.
yeah, that's some very weird stuff to
Hey,
be
come
talking
on.
about if you haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Leaf had mentioned like, like what pretty much what I'm wearing. Like I don't usually wear a corset. I don't have like, absolutely loving Gail. I don't have like that awesome outfit she has.
Well,
It's just like I
Aaron,
want to like emulate Gail. Aaron, hi.
Aaron is right. You look incredible, and I'm in
Aw,
trouble
thanks.
because I did
Um,
I did shave the other day, but sorry guys. Like I needed to do it to like get back into the mood to like start up my exercise and be active and all that. So I needed to, have my face be clean and feel like I was getting a fresh start. So you guys can't stop me, okay?
we'll keep it up.
Yeah.
You do,
Um,
yeah.
so wrapping up, once again, I'll say that next week I'm taking the week off because some things fell through, but I'm probably going to be promoting around social media my stream from last year when I talked to Doug Adams, the author of the music of the Lord of the Rings, because next Saturday will in fact be the 20th anniversary of the release of the soundtrack for Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
So if you don't, if you've already seen the stream and don't want to watch it again, at the very least, go listen to some Howard Shore Lord of the Rings music because it's been 20 years. Oh God.
December 19th is 20 years for the movie, I
Yeah.
think, release.
And which we are going to be doing a retro review on Here Be Dragons.
What?
On that day.
What?
Yeah.
I need to reevaluate. Like,
yeah.
Oh no.
Oh
no. I need my walker.
But
I need my Fixodent.
But anyway, so
No.
I'm off next week, but the week after that, Kate will be joining me to talk Beauty and the Beast, and that'll be the original animated one because that's the only one that exists. And and actually, there's no Here Be Dragons tomorrow either because Steven's been under the weather.
That's
so
right.
we're taking
Steven, get better.
Yes, absolutely, my man. Take it easy. And And yeah, so I presume next weekend over on Here Be Dragons we'll be diving into season 2 of Star Wars Rebels. So he does season 3. Forgive me. Oh my God, I can't believe I screwed that up. Season 3 of Star Wars Rebels. So yeah, so that'll be a good animation weekend. So yeah, anything you want to add, Kelly? Where can people find you on social media?
So I am on Instagram and YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. You can usually find me under Jaded Redhead, spelled like that. Jaded
Yeah,
Redhead without the letters A.
I haven't made the obvious, you know, the obvious joke that's not really funny. That I
Yeah.
always make about your
The
name.
different pronunciation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Damn it, Steven.
so I'm just leaving it there.
I wanted to be like Jaded Rafferty or something like that, but then it would like I was afraid someone would be like Jaded Rafferty or something.
No, I've got a lot of fondness for the Jaded Redhead name because it just reminds me of the very early days of when I was getting onto the YouTube chats and meeting you guys all for the first time before my face popped up on anywhere, and you were always one of the ones that stood out, partly because of the name, but partly because you're just such a wonderful person. So, thank you. And and so thank you once again for coming on, not just this week, but for all the other times you've come on. And actually you will be back on in a number of weeks from now, because we're going to be doing a stream on the Hobbit trilogy.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna like announce that, so I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, I'm just thankful that I have a chair this time, but also like I know like well enough in advance rather than like 3 minutes before the stream starts.
It really cracked me up because I thought I had done so well by inviting you like pretty far in advance for this one, and then I had sent out a message on Twitter to the group of people that I've invited on, just saying like, hey, I wanted to see if you guys are going to be available for a stream on The Hobbit in December, or at least I think it might be no. I have to look at the exact date, but the point is, like, in my mind, that was also far in advance, just finding out who's available. But Dan apparently reached out to you and was like, hey, do you know you're in this message for the
like we just happened to be playing D&D at that moment or about to, and Dan's like, yeah, I'm reading this message from John, by the way, have you checked, like, you're in it too? And I'm like, do what? So again, it is not 4 minutes before the stream starts. not our typical December 4th. All right.
Yeah, that'll be on December 4th. And yeah, the original idea I had was to basically do what we did last year, which was 3 weeks and a film a week. But I'm going to be taking a vacation it's sometime around then, so we either would have had to start them earlier or divide them up and give myself a chance to take my vacation, then come back. And then also, like, to be completely honest, let's just be blunt, nobody was super thrilled about doing an entire stream on Battle of the Five Armies.
So after, like, the death of Smaug, I was kind of like, all right, turn off the movie now, I'm good.
Yeah, so then I was just like, okay, the hell with it. Yeah, next month. So I was like, let's just yeah, Aaron Aaron said it too. It's like even I'm gonna say like, the part of me is like, if we do it all in one go, there's more positive things to say.
Yeah, we can focus more on like the Lee Pace thirst.
Yeah, and then I'll be going on about how I actually think that Evangeline Lilly is fantastic in the films.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. And let me just verify. I'm fairly certain that Aaron was right, and that is on December 4th.
Mm-hmm. I remember it was like the time span for the initial idea of doing the 3 back to back, like December 4th was somewhere in that window. So figured, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to make like an announcement.
Yeah, so that's actually, it is the week. So we're having a break next week. Saturday after that will be Beauty and the Beast with Kate, and then we'll be doing The Hobbit the week after that, which is December 4th. And then I'll be taking my vacation the week after that. so yeah, looking forward to that.
What about second vacation?
Yeah, exactly. I love that I just went and came out and said, that nobody wants to talk about that all the time.
Like, we do. It's just, it might be 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, how long the movie should have been.
There's not much to talk about because the whole movie is, like, not the whole movie, but
I want it, like, I'm not going to get into it. I have to save it all for the stream.
Yeah. Like 85% of it is battle scenes. So yeah. And I don't have that much to say about,
like, I'll be like, Bilbo, just knock me out. I'll miss most of it, and then I'll wake up later on.
Yeah, it's like as much as I want to go on about the cinematic greatness of Azog, Oh, it is going to be so much fun though, guys, because I'm going to get the chance to be a bit more, shall we say, balanced.
I was about to say, I think you're going to be more, critical, and you know what? It is okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We know, and like all of us collectively know, we still absolutely love it. But we're still gonna rip into it though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got stuff to get off
with nothing but love.
I know Erin's really excited because she's been like, I feel like every time she gets me to talk about The Hobbit, she like gets super thrilled because she just feeds off of the complaining that I have, for The Hobbit, because I never do that with anything else, but it's like, it's because I care so much about the franchise, that the stuff that I was legitimately not thrilled with, like, I have to voice it. I can't let it be. So
yeah.
But yeah, okay. So I think that about wraps us up. Once again, super thrilled about the return of the animated series. And then just one more time, because gotta end things on this note. Yeah.
Not gonna complain about that one.
No, not at all. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in, and like I said before, this was a ridiculous amount of fun. So thank you, everybody, and again, off next week. I'll see you in 2 weeks for Beauty and the Beast. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.